This is the Cash Considerations podcast with three guys from Pittsburgh, Philly, and Boston talking sports. God help us all. This is the show. Take it away, Dave.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is November 23rd. I don't know if we get the point when we start the show, but it is vital to the start of the show, which we just did. My name is Dave Sharapan, the Sportsbook Consigliere at Sportsbook Consigliere on the Twitter. And this is our Thanksgiving episode, right? November 23rd. That's 2 days before Thanksgiving. Usually record on Wednesdays. We're actually recording this on Tuesdays to give you all a little extra time to listen to the show, whether it's before the games, after the games. Should probably listen to it before you eat, because we're going to go somewhere today in Carl's Corner that's vital maybe to what you're going to put on the table for Thanksgiving. But as always, with me tonight, the boys. First, up in Wayne Manor, up in Boston, hanging out, just doing his thing up there. Things got a little cold this week. Winter is officially here in Boston. Carl Hascall, that's Hascall, the coordinating producer, social media manager, email guy, cashconsidshow@gmail.com. CH, what's up, man?
How are you? How you doing? Man, I can tell you what's up. You know what's not up here is the temperature. The temperature is not up here at all. It is 31 degrees at the time of recording. Welcome home, Pearl.
Oh, yeah. You people going back to New England for the holidays, you better bring the winter jackets. It's going to be a little bit cold, but it's also going to be cold for them Tennessee Titans coming up there for a little football game on Sunday as well. But we'll get to that. The other corner here, he is the executive producer of the show, also co-host along with myself and CH. He is Dan Alexander, known to the people as Newbie, at Newbie Talks on Twitter. Newbie, this mustache, you look like you shaved the face a little bit. That mustache is actually in now. For the people, go watch on the YouTube, see the kid. How you feeling today, Newbie?
I'm feeling better than my mustache looks, I will say. And yes, the mustache is in, except it like stops growing over here.
Oh, does it?
So you got to like comb it and everything. I've been teasing it nicely, but luckily only about a week left of the mustache as we're raising money for Movember. And last thing, Dave, before we get rolling, to quote my buddy CH, got my Birds beer. We're back, bitches. Let's go. The show is back. The boys are back. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Excited to get rolling here a day early for the folks.
It's incredible, right? We get it together. We're doing the show. New England's back. Philly, you're back. I mean, the Birds are back. A little bit.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Steelers not back. I mean, a lot of people listening in Pittsburgh, thank you all again for listening to the show. But, man, I can't even explain what that was on Sunday. But we're not looking back. We're looking forward. What we're going to do today is got a couple just loose items we've got to tie up real fast. Then we get right to the Layin or Takin. Last weekend of college football, at least the regular season games for a lot of people. Some people sweating season wins, over and unders. Some people sweating maybe getting in a bowl game or not, bowl eligible or not. We'll talk about that maybe not. Me and B. Howe are going to get after it tomorrow morning with Newbie producing the show at 8 in the Box. We'll talk about all the college football games of interest, and we'll get there. Of course, we're going to go in the gun. Copyright cash considerations. We're going to talk about all the pro games there. The most rootin' tootin' segment. But we'll get to that. Save it for the kid. Then we're going to go to Carl's Corner because a debate started today amongst us briefly, and then I had to go on there and put it on the Twitter, and now we got people from all over the world talking about what you might bring. If you could only bring one pie to the table for Thanksgiving, what would you bring? Go on there and vote. That poll is going to be up all day today, all day tomorrow, up until Thanksgiving. So it will be there. And then we're going to take a minute and we're going to get out of here. So that's pretty much the show. First order of business, boys, real quick. Did you see? I'll start with you, CH, because now that he's kind of a part owner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, and he wears the Yankee hat up in Boston. I don't know who this guy is. I mean, we all saw it. LeBron threw that punch / elbow / something that guy should get off me or whatever, and then boom, cut him. Was that? Well, explain that to me. What did you see as a former official watching that game? What did you see when that happened?
So when I first saw it, it looks kind of innocuous, right? It looks like an elbow and it doesn't look like any big deal until you slow it down and play it in slow motion from 75 different angles. It looks a little bit more
purposeful.
I don't know. There was some purpose there. I played basketball, right? You remember I scored 16 points against Georgetown in that JV game once.
Believe me, and I know you could box people out. Like when they put you on the blocks, you box some people out.
But where do you box out? You box out in the ribs and in the stomach. You don't box out in the eyeball.
Elbows up.
So I thought that was, of course, I'm anti-LeBron anyway. Sorry, K-Dub. But then what I noticed after is when they start the altercation and Isaiah Stewart is kind of in LeBron's face, when the rest of the players come over and start kind of converging, watch how quickly LeBron steps out of the action. And then in the rest of the clips, you don't see him anywhere.
Got him out.
He was a phantom.
Fucking David Copperfield.
He did. He Copperfielded him.
He did.
He acted. Oh, you wouldn't expect anything less. Oh, I wish Johnny Most was alive to call that. Dave, I don't know if you remember those old clips, but he would have had a field day with LeBron. It would have been horrendous.
He would have. And I kind of saw the same thing. I mean, listen, I've been in those little situations where he was getting held and he was pissed off about it. He threw that bow and he caught him good. Then he turned around and he said, "Oh, sorry, bro. You're good." Like, and he's cut bleeding. Like,
looked like Rocky won.
Yeah, right. Only he wasn't saying, "Look, he's not a machine." He's he's looking at him going, "Now what are you going to do?" Like, he looked at him. Newbie, you've been in the scrums, former defensive lineman, all the way up into the college football level. Was that a little purposeful elbow or what did you see on that thing?
Well, I mean, isn't it always, when you're talking about LeBron this era versus Jordan that era, it's always, what would LeBron be like in the more physical era? And you kind of got a glimpse of it. You know what I mean? He would be a stick and go kind of guy. He throws the bow, back pedals away, and then he's smart by backpedaling away because then what does the NBA do? Slap the other dude with the 2-game fine. He only gets the 1-game fine, so he games the system again. It was purposeful. Honestly, I kind of like it when basketball gets a little bit more physical, as long as people are able to have reciprocity. But, it was just, I hate to say it because, I'm like the lone Bron defender in our trio here. And it's a bit of a bitch move by Bron. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to throw the elbow, stand by it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not going to call a professional athlete like a bitch or anything like that, but it was a bitch-like move is the way that I kind of looked at it. Dave.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the way I looked at it too. And not calling anybody out, but he did back up. He did back up. And to his defense, the boys jumped in there. I mean, DeAndre Jordan is a big dude, and he was standing there like, what are you going to do? And Stewart lost his mind. I mean, my man got hit. I opened up, tasted a little, saw a little blood, said, "I'm going to kill you." Like, I mean, something took over, and he was crazy. And somebody had a great tweet that was the longest rush by a Detroit player in years, like him going from the locker room over to the other side of the court, cutting through different people, running people over. So it was impressive. But the irony of the whole thing is that the Lakers play 1 game a year at New York, at the Knicks, and they suspended him for the 1 game when they play the Pistons at home on Sunday. So they should have figured out a way to appeal it and then suspend him for the Pistons game. Instead, he's going to go to play in the Pistons game at home and probably chirp and talk and all kinds of other things that we all know and hate as sports fans. But it was interesting. The Lakers are off to a scuffling start. So hashtag anybody but the Lakers is alive. The Nets, goddammit, they just keep winning. They got one of the best records in the game now. They don't even got Kyrie. Sorry, I didn't mean to mention him on Thanksgiving, CH, but like, we ain't mentioning him no more. They ain't even care. Like, I don't even know if they care if he comes back, but that's the end of the NBA talk. We're not even going to play the song this week. We got too many things to do. So
Tyrese
maybe
Maxey, though, is the man, though, I will say. Tyrese Maxey, 18 points per game, 50% free field goal.
What team does he play for?
Oh,
What team
Jesus.
does he play for?
Well, you know, I might not want the song, but you're getting the song. The Sixers throwback uniforms are the nicest uniforms
Magic.
in all of sports. They're beautiful.
Oh.
I love Tyrese Maxey. Send Ben Simmons up in that rocket with Aaron Rodgers and Tony Corrente.
To the moon.
With him, that's the basketball. Now I'm done. I had to get that in there because I've been wanting to do it since last night.
Yeah, and for the record, they're tied with the Celtics. So let's move on.
They are tied with the Celtics, which, by the way, beat the Lakers up in Boston that night. And I don't know if you saw my tweet I put out there, but they got that little how you doing? The Jaylen Brown at the end of the game was talking, and he said something, and then you saw LeBron walking off, and he looked like he was waving, but I think he was waving with one finger to the people as he went under the tunnel in Boston. So that was pretty fun. That was a great rivalry. It still is good just seeing the uniforms. All right, last order of business before we get to the college football later taken. It's kind of a college football thing. It just happened. James Franklin just agreed to a 10-year contract with Penn State. Woo! It is good up until 2031. It's 2021. That's 10 years. So my question is this. I'm a James Franklin. I like him. Game coaching, it's going to get better because it's not that great now. But my man can recruit. He's a good person to talk in front of the media. He's got a lot of things happening. He's a PA guy with a PA job, and he's now got it all. Got to get them assistants to stay, which means more money. That's what's happening in college football. CH, would you sign anybody other than Bill Belichick to be your coach for 10 years? Seriously.
You know, in 10 years, Bill Belichick would be 79, and I'd still sign him to a 15-year contract.
Oh, man, that sumbitch going to live to be 100?
Hey, as long as he keeps coaching, I don't think he's going to die anytime soon. But Dave, does it baffle you the way it baffles me when you see something that ends in 2031? Doesn't it seem like something from the Jetsons or something? I mean, Doobie, you've been living in the 2000s most of your life, but when you see who the Rays signed today, was it Wander to a 15-year contract that ends in 2036. 2036. I think the world's going to be gone by then.
I did the math. I used to be, when I was little, because I was born in 1970. So 2000 was 30, 2030 was 60. So 2030 has been in my mind for a long time. And you guys know, I somehow got past the stroke and all this other stuff. So like I'm constantly thinking about the numbers and being in the business all this time. 2030, 60 years old. And his contract is going to be that. So the first thing I thought was, shit, I'm going to be 61. And little Consig will be graduating high school probably later that year. And I'm going to be that dad that she brings to the graduation and be like, hey, grandpa, nice to see you. No, I'm his dad. I'm her dad. I ain't her grandpa. But yes, CH, I start to see these numbers. And yes, it makes me feel old. Newbie, you got to see firsthand as you do the Pennsylvania State playoffs on your half of the state. You get to see some of these Penn State recruits in person. That running back had all them yards on 15 carries. He's coming to Penn State. You saw the quarterback. You scared me already. I thought the kid was going to be this big, tall dude who's going to come light it up all over. Apparently got confused.
And the Canadian guy, though, Christian Veilleux, the guy who just came in last week. Send Clifford into the moon up on that rocket, too. That Canadian quarterback wasn't too bad last week.
I don't know. Well, you were at the game. Yeah. You were at the Rutgers Penn State game.
Yeah, we celebrated when, I hope Clifford's okay, but, people weren't too upset when he left the game, I will say.
So, not as a Penn State guy, but as someone around it and in high school football scene right now, doing the games and all this stuff. Surprised by the Franklin signing? We have been talking about it all this time. B. Howe had us convinced that he was going to USC. I insisted he was not going anywhere. So I feel vindicated. B. Howe, I hope you're listening to the show. We'll talk about it tomorrow on 8 in the Box. But are you surprised?
I am surprised because honestly, as the year went on, the whispers got louder. Then the reports come out that Franklin switches who his manager is and his agent. And that worried me. And at the end of the day, I'm not a big Franklin guy because what happens on game day. I mean, the record against ranked opponents speaks for itself. Like
Thanks
you
for
said,
reminding
hopefully that ends up getting better, but you can't argue with the guy as a recruiter. He came in and he said his one role was to shut down the border of Pennsylvania. And with this class they have coming in, he's done that. I'm telling you, I'll put my reputation as a talent evaluator on it. If Nick Singleton, that's the guy's name, running back out of Governor Mifflin, 15 minutes from my house, if this dude stays healthy, he's a second round running back draft pick potential. I mean, he is that legit. And when you're able to bring in talent like that, you can't knock Franklin. He's an amazing evaluator. He's an amazing at getting these guys to buy in, because Singleton had offers from Notre Dame, from any SEC school, and he chose Penn State.
Yes.
I mean, that's not to be overstated. As far as the question you threw CH's way, any coach, 10-year contract, I think the only guy it can be is Belichick. I mean, who else would there be? That's a great question for the listeners. If you could sign any coach to a 10-year contract, who would it be? Because I think that list has to be, what, 5 names, if that?
Sirianni.
He's laying the fertilizer.
That's it, baby. Let's go.
That's right.
That's right. Water that shit. Let's go. Roots growing sideways. That's all we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to do right here on the show. Grow this shit sideways and just keep expanding the reach. Thank you to everybody who's been listening and who's been commenting on social media. We appreciate it at Cash Consid Show. All right. So before we move on to the Layin or Takin, let me get this quick read in for Book It Sports. If you love the sports bet, listen up. The Book It Sports app is here to help make your sports betting experience a breeze. Whether you're looking to talk shop, purchase picks, or simply need an app to keep track of all your action, Book It Sports is the app for you. In sports betting, transparency is key. And with the all-new Book It Sports betting score, you can easily separate the contenders from the pretenders. What are you waiting for? Download Book It Sports today for free in the Google Play and Apple app stores, and prove to your friends why you're the better. So Nikki, David, and Trent, keep up the good work at Book It Sports. And Trent, please don't pick Penn State anymore. Just don't do it. You can deploy units on other teams. All right. So speaking of deploying units, that's what he calls it when he makes plays. Let's do Layin or Takin real quick, get it out of the way. You got 4 games. CH sent them. I'm changing the order a little bit because there's really only one game that we really got to discuss. I mean, there's only one game in the entire college football world this weekend. So we'll get to that one last because we know what game that is. It's not the Penn State game. It's not. Penn State game's leading it off. Penn State -1 at Michigan State. Michigan State, if we pause for 1 second, I think Ohio State just scored again right now. Like, that was unfucking believable what Ohio State did to that team. But Penn State's laying a point on the road. I will start. Michigan State is going to win this game. They are going to bounce back and win this game. I don't know enough about the Penn State quarterback situation, what's going on. I know just you go up there the last game of the season, done, toast, kaput, finite. But that may be also Michigan State after that ass whooping. I don't know. Flip a coin. Oh, no, we're not flipping a coin anymore. We put the coin away. CH, Layin or Takin, Penn State, Michigan State. Penn State is -1.
Last week, for the first time since 1962, I picked the Penn State game correctly. I took Penn State.
Yep.
I'm doing it again this week.
Yep.
Give me PSU.
All right. Very good.
Yeah.
You saw him in person. Who you got? Layin or Takin, Penn State, Michigan State.
Make it a 2 for Dave on the Penn State side. I'll lay the 1 point. I think, the news that you just shared about James Franklin coming back, I think this is a circle the wagons kind of game. I feel much better if Sean Clifford does not play, because I can't say his fucking name, but the true freshman quarterback, Christian Veilleux, I'm guessing it is because he's Canadian, probably from a French province. I'm going to say Penn State's laying the points. They're getting the win. I think this is a statement. Let's move forward kind of win after a kind of ho-hum season for Penn State.
Well, man, I hope he ends up playing for the Bengals.
Oh God. Oh my goodness.
The video on the Bengals.
Oh God. Dear God.
Penn State has a Frenchman. A newbie can't say his name. He can't say Bengals either. It's pretty good. I hope we can say that pie we got coming up later. I feel like I'm going to choke on that one too. I don't know how to say it.
I got
let's hope Penn State reacts better to the contract news than Michigan State's did against Ohio State, but that wasn't a fair fight. I mean, they were 19-point dogs, and people took the bait, didn't work out. Next game, Oregon -7 at home against Oregon State. Oregon still ranked up there, but pretty much done after getting whacked, just beat up by Utah. Newbie, you're first this time. What do you got? Later taken. Oregon -7 against Oregon State. What do they call this? The border war?
I don't know. It's who fucking cares, Bowl. I mean, Oregon. What didn't they just like kind of like piss it all away last week? Didn't Oregon just get rolled?
Yeah,
Like,
38-7, I believe it was the final against Utah.
Man, it didn't even seem that close.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bounce back spot. Their uniforms are going to be sweet. I'll go Oregon for no other reason than you see those helmets last week with like the two-tone lime.
Amazing.
Woo! You got to look those up. That was fresh, but they got rolled.
Looked sweet. Didn't work out so well as far as on the field. I'm gonna take Oregon State plus the points. A very successful season. All the season win bettors on Oregon State cashing the over already. I think they finish out a strong season with. I think they're live on the money line, boys. I think they can win this game. So Oregon State plus the points taken. CH Layin or taken.
Ducks fly together. I'm laying.
Okay.
Let's go.
Very nice.
We're back, bitches.
There he goes. What they call it in the Mighty Ducks? The Flying V.
Flying V.
Yeah, all right. Flying V. You two. Very nice. All right. Third game on the list. Oklahoma State -3.5. Good line. Courtesy of, this is up in DraftKings, right? Up in New Hampshire. CH, this is where you got the numbers. Yes.
No, I got it from Wager Talk.
Oh, okay. Consensus line on Wager Talk.
Consensus on Wager Talk. Yeah, I think you might have it backwards though, or I wrote it wrong. I think it's Oklahoma -3.5.
No, are you kidding me?
I might have wrote it wrong. It wouldn't be the first time I wrote something down wrong.
No, let's double check it before we.
Like every pick that I've made so far this year that was wrong, it's just really because I wrote it down wrong. It wasn't because I picked it
Oklahoma
wrong.
State's favored.
I thought it was usually he just shades them. We dispelled the myth that he shades the line to whatever team.
Look, I am really not smart enough to do that.
I thought that was the lock of the century, but that's not. What is the actual line, Dave?
Oklahoma State -3.5 on the bottom at home against Oklahoma. Oklahoma State playing for the spot in the Big 12. Oklahoma finished off Iowa State last week, bounced back from the Baylor loss. This is another outstanding game in the Big 12. I went first. CH's turn to go first. Oklahoma State -3.5 later taken.
Well, here's the thing: is I wrote it down on my sheet wrong. I had Oklahoma laying the 3.5. Now that I'm getting 3.5, I like them even more. That's a 7-point swing right there. That's a touchdown. I'll take it.
CLV, baby.
That's right.
CLV right there. We just started the show. You're getting the CLV. Right. I love it. All right. I will go next. I will take Oklahoma State. B-How has convinced me. He calls it the show me. They've shown me that they have one of the best defenses in the country. I think the number's a little light, which as it would be because it's a big game and it's a rivalry game, and a lot of people are going to take Oklahoma plus the points, but I think they're going to be sad. I will lay it. Newbie, laying or taking?
Well, like B-How says, though,
show me what you got.
Never forget. I'll take the hook since we're getting the extra. But since we had that whole kerfuffle, is this the line? Is it not? Somebody's going to say zero preparation has been done for this show, which there's very, very well may be.
Bring it.
Zero.
Yeah, bring it. Exactly.
Bring it. Anybody that wants to, it's at Cash Consent Show. It's pretty transparent. That's the show account. He's at Carl Hascall. He's at Newbie Talks, and I'm at Sports BK Can Sing. Put it out there. That's the way you can get in touch with us. You can email the show too, cashconsidshow@gmail.com. A little bit of a tongue twister, but I got it. We take emails there. Questions, comments, concerns, all open. It's an open book. And surprisingly, we do actually do a little bit of preparation. I mean, I get these emails, these fancy emails. This one said best, by the way. This one
Yeah.
said
You know
best.
why it said best? Because you haven't said shit about the last couple of weeks that I sent.
I forgot.
They were funny. They were actually, goddamn it, they were funny.
They were funny. They were. You're right.
He reads the fucking email. Let's be real.
That's true.
Listen, them last couple of weeks been a little bit rough. We had a lot of shit going on. I'm going to get to my Take a Minute segment with this new show, Bostonian and versus the book and all that other stuff. We'll be talking to a lot of people. I forgot to read the bottom of the email. Carl was definitely not personal. And all you need to do is shoot it in a text and say, read the signature at the bottom, Dave. Okay, sorry, Carl. All right, let's get back to it. Last one, Layin or Takin. It's the game. It's the oldest rivalry. Thanks to my boy, Ben Scott Stevens. I appeared on Sports Grid with him on the morning after on Monday. He hits me with this. This is the 117th meeting between Ohio State and Michigan. Ohio State has won 8 straight, 15 of the last 16. The last game decided by a single score was in 2016 when Ohio State won in overtime. A lot of history, a lot of rivalry, a lot of pageantry, a lot of repercussions of this game. Obviously, the winner's in the Big Ten championship. The loser is out and probably looking at a trip to the Rose Bowl. The loser goes to really is not a bad deal, but they want to be in the Big Ten championship and playing Wisconsin. The number is very interesting to me. On our sheet here up there, it is -7.5. It's already moved to 8.5 in a lot of places. A lot of people are pretty much convinced this is a shoo-in. It's over. It's done. It's just even on Twitter today, David B, Big D, said death taxes and Ohio State kicks Michigan ass. That's what it does. That's every year. I'm going last. Newbie, you're first. Layin or Takin Ohio State -7.5 at the Big House.
Well, you were on Wager Talk today with Teddy Covers today, and he's a Michigan alumnus. And
What'd he say?
He was saying this line's too short. He was saying if it's 10 is the only way he would even start looking towards Michigan. So you know what? I'll take one of his sayings. And if I'm playing, I'm laying with Ohio State 7.5. That's the way I'm going, Dave.
CH, what did your studies and all your methods and all your things come up with on this game today?
Well,
no.
No, that's not what happened at all.
Wait. Do this. We do rock. For the YouTube listeners, we're playing rock, paper, scissors. You should go watch the show on YouTube instead of listening. But go ahead. Sorry.
I'm going to go with taking the points. I am taking the points. Newbie and we just pointed this out, or he just pointed this out and picked the same game in the first 3. I did write it down before the game, graphics department, before the show. Michigan, give me the points in the Big House.
I'm taking Michigan too, only because did some reading, did some research. David Payne Purdom on Twitter. My boy DP writes for ESPN, gambling column. He talked to Metcalf. He talked to some other people that do lines in numbers. I have the same numbers as them. I thought just under a touchdown was the right number. Take the bets on Ohio State up the ladder. A lot of books were able to open at 7 and get up and have all the early money on Ohio State. I think books will be in a good position, or that's the position that they want. You could open this thing 10, and the bad guys are going to come Michigan 10, Michigan 9, 8.5. You get to the number either way. It's just however you want to start the position. So I think the books are thinking we're going to need Michigan for a goddamn boatload. It's going to be a huge decision. And this will be one of the ones where I would be sitting in the risk room going, all right, we need Michigan. And at the end of the game, whether Michigan wins or not, they stay within the point spread. Give me Michigan plus the points. All right, that's it. Layin or Takin. We are done with that. We have to get to this place. It's a really cool place. We go there every week. And, Newbie, just take it away.
You want it? You got it, David. It is time for the most rootin' football segment this side of the Mississippi. It's in the gun on the Cash Considerations podcast. Copyright Cash Considerations. Woo! Love this. Each and every week we go down the biggest games, and it's a football week We kept it nice and tight up at the top so we could go with the football bonanza. We got a 10-pack for you mother effers today. I'm censoring myself early because, as the episode goes on, those
Right,
mother effers
loose.
fly a little bit more.
Yeah.
Hit the quota. So we're going to do all 3 Thursday games. We're going to do the early window, late window, usual way that we do in the gun. Dave is going to be batting us leadoff. He has back-to-back winning weeks here in the on the cash considerations per K. So on Thursday, it's Thanksgiving, so we'll all watch the games, kind of like shitty games, no? Like
Terrible.
Like when your best game is Saints Bills,
Yeah.
ugh.
And it is the best game.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no debate. That is the best game.
We'll start from worst and work our way up to best.
Yeah.
Maybe Matt Nagy will be on the sidelines come Thursday, but
Maybe.
who knows? It's increasingly changing. Bears are 3.5-point road favorites. They're down to 3, so we'll grade it at 3 here on the show. They're taking on the Lions, and the crazy thing is CH sends out our lines and our games in the morning, and as I'm prepping for the show, probably, just making sure all the lines are right and everything about 2 hours before, already almost all of them moving. So those sharp bettors getting their bets in early in the week, hammering those lines into shape. But it's the Bears taking on the Lions. Lions are the home team. 3 points is the spread. David, what are we doing here, man?
I don't care if it's square, if it's not. I'm picking Detroit again. I think that, we just got the Goff news. It sounds like Goff's going to play. I don't know if that's good or bad. Probably prefer that he would not. But I just got the text. I think he's going to play. All right. Give me Detroit. I'll fall for it again. We'll see by game time. Again, follow along on Twitter. Maybe we'll have some sort of change. But I'm taking Detroit plus the points. I think they can win the game. This might be the only game they can win all season. But they're going to cover the spread. It's going to fall 3 if nothing else.
CH, what do you think in Bears, Lions?
I'm going to pick the Lions, and I'm going to reserve the rest of my time to talk about why we are subjected to watching the Lions every fucking Thanksgiving. It's a holiday. It's a national holiday that started where? In New England. Why don't the Patriots play every Thanksgiving? It just makes sense. It's got nothing to do with the rest of the country being sick of us. The Patriots should be playing on Thanksgiving. I'll take the Lions.
Yeah, I'm also going Lions. Make it unanimous, and we need a unanimous win badly. My handicap is Nagy sucks. He needs to be fired. This team is going to make sure that he is fired by rolling over on national television. Lions get their first win. Let's go. Cowboys taking on the Raiders. Cowboys, the home team.
He's not even looking at you.
He's not looking at me. Newbie, I got to pause you for a second. One of the things I think about a lot is, I remember we had a quarterback here for a long time, and they used to chant his name when he was coming out onto the field, or when they needed something big, they would chant his name.
Yeah.
We don't have a way to chant for our new guy's name, right? It doesn't make sense. But can you imagine when a team in your city has a sold-out arena and they're chanting, "Fire Nagy, fire Nagy" at the Bulls game last night? Can you imagine how that feels?
That's when I saw that, I was like, Lions by 1,000,000, because how
exactly
back from that, because that dude saw it, and he already, in press conferences, he gets argued with, and then he's very combative. So I think, and again, I'm not calling anybody out or anything, but kind of like thin skin. So that I just don't think is working. In the locker room, they're talking about how they want him gone. And I apologize, CH, I was not ignoring you, but full disclosure, I have notes here. And when I'm reading them, I cover up the screen, so I don't see your guys' beautiful faces while I'm reading them.
Little inside, behind the peak.
I pull back the whole curtain. I pull back the entire curtain.
Who's reading this shit?
I'm reading it, and there's thank God I don't handwrite it, because it would look like the fucking Zodiac killer. You guys have seen my handwriting. It ain't no good. All right, so now I can't see you guys because my notes are back up. Cowboys taking on the Raiders. Cowboys were 7-point favorites. They're up to 8-point favorites. So that's where we'll grade it at, -8 for the Cowboys. Don't know if that changes it for you guys. But even when it was just 7, I was looking at the Raiders just because I think everybody expects this to be a bounce back spot for the Cowboys. They can't be as bad as they looked over the past 2 weeks. They didn't score a touchdown against one of the worst defenses in the NFL in the Chiefs. And okay, they've been better these past couple of weeks, however you want to split it. I wouldn't bet this game. I don't really like either side, but I would take the points with the Raiders if I was forced to make a pick, which I am here on the Cash Considerations podcast. What say you, CH?
Yeah, bounce back. So everything you just said, just reverse it. Thank you. Dallas minus the points.
I love it. And Dave, are we making it another unanimous? Or well, I guess he's on Cowboys. So what are you going here, Dave?
Not even listening to the show, CH. Now he's covering the screen and he's not even listening.
He's all flummoxed because of his notes in the video and everything.
You guys called me out about the notes. Now I don't know where to put them. I'm moving them around the screen.
It's fine. Leave them where they're at. It's fine. Please just leave them where they're at. You muted us last time. The last thing I don't want you to mute me again. That was so funny. Go back and watch last week's show. I forget the mark where you did it, but you did it. And we were talking and didn't realize we were muted. And then you called us out and you dropped the first motherfucker on us all. So that was actually really good. Dallas by 100. Dallas by 100. They're going to kill this team. The Raiders had every opportunity to salvage the season at home against the Bengals last week. They played until the third quarter, and then they quit. I mean, and I hate to say professional athletes quit, but their will was taken, their soul was taken right from them on that sideline, and they just didn't have it. I don't think they're going to go to Dallas on a short week and compete. I think they're going to try. Dallas is going to score, and then it's out. Dallas by 100.
Oh, man, you guys are going to be so sick when I get to my prop. I'm kind of sick even thinking about it. But that's later in the one total, one side, one prop segment. So let's finish it up on Thanksgiving. You're getting full. Now you got the itis, and you're sitting on the couch, and on comes a game that's probably going to give you some more indigestion. It's the Bills taking on the Saints. The Saints home dogs was 4.5 when it was sent. It's up to 5.5. People hammering the Bills. I just, CH, what are we doing in this game? Because I honestly, I mean, I hope Kamara is back. That makes me maybe look at the Saints. Maybe you have a stronger opinion. What are you thinking? Bills taking on the Saints?
My opinion is I have to try to figure out how to leave my sister's house early enough to make it home to watch this game without offending my family, and then convince my wife that I'm really tired and I want to watch this game and not do anything because I got a scout for the Bills game next week.
That's true.
My opinion is that the second place Bills are going to win this game. So I'm going to lay the 4.5 and go with Buffalo.
Dave, is it that easy? The 4.5? Now, CH, would you still lay it at 5.5?
Oh yeah, 5.5. Whatever. I hate that number, but I'll still lay the points.
5.5. CH is the lock on 5.5. So maybe I'll have to change my pick because I'm kind of leaning towards the Saints. Dave, you have enough to move me to the other side? What are you thinking?
There was a line from the movie Mr. Mom back in the day when he asked him a question. He said 220, 221, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. 4.5, 5.5, whatever it takes, all the way up to 7. Buffalo by 100. Like, this is such a usually chalky day in the history of the books. Public wins. I mean, the favorites cover. The games are shit most of the time. Nobody knows shit. But, man, I can't find a reason to take the Saints. I don't think Kamara's going to play. And, again, I think the market is telling us that with this move today. So when you see these injury plays, again, they don't always get there. That one last week with Seattle, everybody had Seattle and all the CLV plus 2.5, plus 1.5 pick all the way up to -3 against the Cardinals. And Colt McCoy got you. Maybe Kamara gets us. Maybe the lack of Kamara gets us. Buffalo, lay it. Done.
I mean, I guess just to keep us away from a unanimous pick, so we don't go over on Thanksgiving, I'm going with the Saints. I have my notes, as you well know, written down, and I've adjusted my screen a little bit. CH gave me some tips. Now I can see you guys. I can read my notes. This is amazing. My life is
it's a whole new show.
But on Thanksgiving, I just like whenever you're getting a home dog, I always like lean that way just because I figure it's a holiday. You know what I mean? Like nobody wants to travel on Thanksgiving. Now their wives and the girlfriends are bitching at them because they're missing. Oh, you're not hanging out with my in-laws again. And that plus the Bills have kind of gotten like exposed a little bit here. Now, I think you're right. Probably Kamara doesn't play, which I would feel better. But as this line ticks up, I would probably wait to play it again. probably wouldn't make my betting card. Bills maybe looking ahead a little bit. I think a Patriots game is a lot more important to them than a Saints game. It just seems too easy to me to go Bills in a bounce back spot. So I'll do the contrarian bullshit. You know, I love doing. Give me the Saints getting the 5.5. And no, I did not pick it at 5.5 just because that was the side I was going. That's what the live odds screen said at wagertalk.com. We moved to Sunday, boys, and it's the Patriots, the aforementioned Patriots there, taking on the Titans. 6.5 is the line here. Patriots getting a lot of love, and respectfully so. They are back, bitches. The wild thing for me, though, guys, I'll go first. And I don't feel good about it at all. And I'm mainly just doing it so they keep winning, so CH stays happy. I love it when he's happy. I'm going Titans because I feel like when I look at the look ahead line and it was 2.5 and now it's 6.5. I mean, the market thinks that they're back. And I think they probably are, but that's too much to me. For everybody goes from slurping the Titans week after week to saying they're dog shit just because they lose one game that they were looking ahead to play in the Patriots. So they weren't even a little bit focused last week. You guys know that was my best bet. I loved Houston, sprinkled a little bit on the money line too, because they were looking forward to this game. I'm going to go Titans. I don't feel even a little bit good about it. Dave, we'll let CH round up the rear. What are you thinking, Patriots, Titans?
I want to take the Titans just because it seems like it's too many points. But, I mean, Carl said it. We're back, bitches. Like, I mean, unless it's 7, I ain't taking. Like, Tennessee, everything in your power points to taking the points. Like, Tennessee lost at home in a classic look-ahead spot, in rain and shit and everything that's been supposed to catch up to them with Henry being out happened last week. So they're supposed to bounce back. But, man, that New England defense is – I keep going on all these shows. I keep saying this is the best defense in the AFC. Like, are you watching what's going on? They are physically punishing people, and they got the evil genius scheming back like he was back in the day. I don't think Tennessee gets more than 17 points. Wow. I goddamn know well that New England's getting 24 at home. That's more than 7. New England minus the points.
Wow, some math major stuff right there, CH. No spreadsheet needed to find out 20
I ain't even got no notes.
Is 7 more than 17. That's impressive. No notes needed. The Consigliere. Follow him on Twitter at SportsBKConsig. You can follow Carl Hascall on Twitter at Carl Hascall. And CH, they're back, bitches. Are you laying this?
You can follow me on the Twiddle too. It's the same thing. Yeah. So I don't like how this number keeps climbing and climbing and climbing.
Scary.
It's scary. The Patriots, I feel like they're going to win this game. I don't like how, like I said, the number keeps getting higher. Under 7, I like the Patriots. I'm going to take Mikey McCorkle and the New England Patriots, and we're going to win this game. And I'll lay the 6.5 as much as it pains me to do it.
Yeah, and honestly, I think a lot of it is it's trending upwards just because think about it, dude. If you were getting any time, if the other guy was still playing quarterback there, if you were getting anything under a touchdown, it was an automatic play on spot, and they were amazing as home favorites. And now they kind of have gone away from that, and it seems like they're back bitches. And I feel like that's why the market is finally starting to be like, dude, we're getting insane value. When it was 5.5, it was every bag guy, I would imagine, going up to the counter and playing that, because this is, you can start going back to some of those ATS numbers that Bill Belichick was putting up because Cam Newton is not his quarterback anymore. So, I think that's that has something to do with how this number keeps ticking up. I don't know what you think about that, Dave.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right. This is bad guy stuff. Nobody's moving this number today like that, unless they're coming with limit plays. And you saw what it did with the Falcons, right? You saw the number come a little bit light and shoot up. I think odds makers, bettors, books, prognosticators, everybody's trying to figure out how good this team is. Well, the market's telling you, we're back, bitches. That's it.
There you go. Now, speaking of back bitches, are the Cincinnati Bengals? Bengals? Am I getting closer?
closer. That was better.
I practiced it in the mirror before the show. The Bengals are taking on the Steelers, and we're back at it, bitches. Not pronouncing it right. Bengals are the home favorite. 4 points taking on the Steelers. CH, you go first on this one because I don't really like either side.
Yeah, I'm not sure I like either side either. That's where the hook comes in because this is one of those that I would say is going to be a tie with the number. I'm going to go with the the Bengals in this game. So I'll lay the points.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you very much. I've thought about that all week.
It was just subtle enough that the true listeners of the pod will know. Yeah, I'm not rushing to the counter to bet either of these teams. I just don't think in a division game, the Cincinnati side should be laying over. It should be even a favorite is really. So I'll take the Steelers getting the points. They've been good to me as underdogs. Tomlin, I don't have the numbers in front of you, but he's always good as a underdog, whether it's on the road, whether it's at home. I'll take the 4 points, and we'll see what ends up happening. What do you think, Dave?
Steelers is a dog this season, undefeated, I think, or maybe one loss. I don't know how the hell they covered that game on Sunday. They didn't have half the team, missing TJ Watt, missing Micah Fitzpatrick. Ben didn't practice all week, whatever that's worth. I don't think he's practiced in 3 years. It's pretty obvious the way he throws. It's just, he does his own thing, but he keeps them in the games. They get those guys back on defense. Let this number climb up. If you like the Steelers, I think you can wait. I think you'll get the magic number of 5, like CH likes the 5. I think you'll be able to get 5. I think 4.5 will be enough. I'm taking Pittsburgh against the Bengals, whatever you want to call them. Give me the points. Don't be surprised to see the Steelers win this game and keep that whole thing alive of hope of making the playoffs after that goddamn tie against the Lions.
Vacation, all you ever wanted is a go-go song, not a Bengals song. Okay. All right, guys, this is a game that I am pumped up for. It's the Buccaneers taking on the Colts. They're road favorites. The creamsicle hat is on. God damn it, does it look good. I love that orange. Beautiful. Man. Just beautiful. And Buccaneers 2.5-point favorites. Keeps bouncing around 3, keeps bouncing around 2.5. So we'll just stick it at a 2.5. If you shop around, you can get either number for whichever side that you like. Buccaneers taking on the Colts. And I'll just go first because you guys already know it's a formality. You see Colts on the rundown. If Wentz is playing, I am taking the Colts. But all joking aside and all Ginger Jesus love aside, and it's hard to put that aside because, dear God, they're balling out. He looks even better when he doesn't have to do anything. He could just hand the ball off to Jonathan Taylor. It hides a lot of the horrible passes that the Ginger Jesus Carson Wentz does. But all kidding aside, I just think the Colts need this game way more than the Bucs. I think they're live to win the game, and any time that I see an underdog that's live to win the game, I'll always take the points on a short week. Give me the Colts, and of course, guys, at that 2.5 sweet spot. It's not wongable because of the total, but I love the Colts in a teaser in this game. CH, what say you?
Come on. If I've got the choice between these two quarterbacks, which one do you think I'm going to take? Give me the Bucs.
The one who's Jesus, right? The one who is
yes, the OG Jesus. Tampa Bay minus the points.
All right, Dave, what do you think? You got to break the tie. We got one guy loving on one quarterback, the other loving on one quarterback, and one of us probably has a much better reason to love on that quarterback. What are you doing in this one, Dave?
Put your finger on the button. I'll say it. Hasn't been said yet.
I thought we
Brady,
were going to throw it, you fucker.
Brady. He did us right Monday night against the Giants. We knew what he was going to do. Went on, like I said, went on Sports Grid, told everybody, just lay it. Not this week. I believe it was last week when Newbie said Tampa Bay sucks on the road. Tampa Bay has not covered a game on the road, I believe, all season long. I believe you hit me with one of them stats, all the research that we apparently don't do. We done did. And you said it, and I heard it. People listen to this goddamn show. But you got to listen to the kid talk about the Ginger Jesus. And the Colts are coming on. Talk about a team playing their best football of the season right now. I think you're getting a bargain, getting any points at home in this game. Tampa, clearly a different team on the road. Colts going to run the ball. You heard it. They're going to run the ball. They're going to win the game. Take the points. Definitely keeping it close. I think they win the game. Colts for sure for me.
Yeah, and again, it's just, they need the game a little bit more than the Bucs, who just continue to be able to beat up on the NFC and beat up on teams at home. So Dave and I both looking that way. CH staying with Brady, and you got to respect it. You just got to. I made a conscious effort, as I saw CH did as well. He was like, I'm not going to be the one to say it. And you had to do it. Cash those under tickets, folks. We got it around the 45-minute mark for it there. All right, we got the shit bag Eagles. The catching up to the SBEs because they are road favorites taking on the Giants. I mean, dear God, the Giants look bad. They looked so bad. They were like, dude, why the hell did we hire Jason Garrett? They can his ass today. Now the Eagles 3.5-point favorites. Number has pretty much stayed pat, ticked up a little bit from 3 to the surprise of no one. I usually go last on the Eagles games, but I'll go first. I want to bet the Giants just because betting against the Eagles has been good to me this year. But we love CLV here. We are a CLV show. That's what we drive ourselves on. If we don't have closing line value, we're not making the play. This number's only going higher because the tickets are all on the Eagles. The money is all on the Eagles. You're going to be getting a better number if you bet it now because it'll probably be closer, Christ almighty, 2-4, maybe even higher than that. I'll get the CLV. I'll lay it with the SBEs. You thought Bengals was hard to pronounce. Maybe 3 C words in a row to say. Speaking of another one, Carl Hascall, CH, where are you going in the SBE's game? You nailed the game last week. They killed the Saints.
Yeah, I've had a little bit of luck with the SBEs. I think since we started calling them the SBEs, they've been very good to CH. So I'm sticking with the initials, and I'm going to take the SBEs, and I'm going to lay the points.
Are we going unanimous on the SBEs and guaranteeing they lose this game, Dave? Make a case for the Giants, and if you can't, just lay the damn points.
It's just lay the damn points. I mean, SBE, you're drinking the 603. Are you drinking the 603? No, you got the Fly Eagles Fly. CH got the 603. Things may be getting a little bit harder to pronounce as we go along here on the show. But what's not harder is seeing the Eagles are going, the Giants are gone. Like they're done. I don't even think they let Garrett fly home. Stay in Tampa. You ain't need to come back. You ain't got to call nobody. I mean, that's it. So what are they going to do? Recover in a division game and, muster up a good effort. Got to be out of your mind. I ain't taking the points. If the Eagles lose this goddamn game, though, newbie, like now that I'm in and that I saw the line move keeps coming on them every week. It paid off last week. They go. It was like pick, close all the way at 3 against the Saints. They kicked their ass. They better not lose this game, newbie. I'm going to be upset. Norm, Nate, all you people in Philadelphia listen to the show. Big shout out to all of you. Thank you. Better not lose this game. Better not lose this game.
I mean, you're going to be upset, Dave. I'm a season ticket holder who can't go to the games because I've gone to 7 straight games and they lost every single one of them. They got killed by the Raiders. I don't go to the home game. The first home game of the year I don't go to. And what happens? They score like 1 billion points.
You ever go to a game up in the Meadowlands? You ever go up there?
I have not. I played a game in the Meadowlands. I do this thing called the Snow Bowl. It's a fundraiser for the Special Olympics of New Jersey, and the game is hosted in MetLife Stadium. So it's pretty cool. I got to play on the field, got to score a touchdown in an NFL stadium. Little humble brag there. It was flag football after all. We are into the late window, gentlemen, and it's the Rams and the Packers. Late window is a great slate of games. I'm excited, and I love it when I just can kick my feet up and then just hopefully enjoy an SBE win and then turn on the red zone and get ready to go for the 4:00 hour. It's the Rams at a pick 'em taking on the Packers. Maybe overreaction central, Dave, as the Packers on the look-ahead line were 1.5-point favorites. What are you thinking in this one, Dave?
It's so hard. I like both of these teams.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't know. I mean, Rodgers looked okay for a guy with a bum toe. He looked okay. I don't know how hurt he is. I'm going with the Packers. That was a great game by the Vikings last week. I mean, they just played a great game. Took every one of Packers shots and came back and won with a field goal late. I think the Packers win with a field goal late. Packers for me. Lay it.
CH, is it that easy? Packers, Rams, looks like one hell of a game. Are you going with Mr. Tobo Cop as well? Where are you going in this one?
So I'm going to disagree with you about Rodgers looking good. He's got to cut his hair at least underneath the helmet. I mean, he looks horrible.
Ridiculous.
Wash that shit once in a while, would you? Jesus Christ.
Like, it's not the length of the hair, it's the unkemptness.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's like he just came out of a Doors concert in 1966 or something. Jesus. Get a little bit of shampoo in that shit.
Seriously.
Anyway, they're missing 2 offensive linemen, I think, the Packers this week. 2 of their starting offensive linemen are out.
Yep.
I think that plays a huge role in the game. I think it's an underrated aspect of the game. Look at what happened in the Super Bowl when Kansas City was missing their offensive line, right? So for that reason, I'm going with the Rams.
Yeah, and even look at what happened in the playoffs when the Packers were missing Bakhtiari and what the Buccaneers were able to do with them at home. I think I wasn't even thinking about that, CH. That's a great point. And it backs up the fact that I, too, am looking at the Rams. You know, is it an overreaction to this Packers team losing to the Vikings? Maybe, but the Rams also need a serious bounce back. I mean, before their bye, it was 2 straight losses for them. And I'm no McVay guy. I think he's honestly a little bit overrated. But for what it's worth, you've had 5 games of a sample size of him after the bye, and he's 4-1 against the spread. So I know there really isn't a spread here, but in those games, he's exceeded the spread on an average of 5.5 points. So, you know, I think they're looking to get right. Meanwhile, Dr. Aaron Rodgers is whining about his toe hurting. So I'm going to take the Rams at the pick'em price on the road. I'm with CH in this one. I'm gonna take the Rams as I guess you can call them road. I guess not favorite if it's a pick.
Yeah. Little betting note to keep in mind for all the listeners. I believe McVay has won 38 straight games as the Rams coach when they're leading at halftime.
Oh.
So if you need a second half bet, if they're leading at halftime, they just that's the high water mark. Bet them at halftime. They win the game. That's just a little thing. We used to shade the line that way last year, or when I was in the book, and I've seen it now. McVay leading at halftime, cash the ticket for the final.
Wow. Look, that's why you listen to the show right there, baby. That's a little nugget for you guys. All right, Chargers taking on the Broncos. Chargers were 2.5-point favorites this morning. They're now 3-point favorites. The bad guys betting the Chargers. They're on the road against the Broncos. Feel like I haven't bat leadoff here in a couple bit in the rotation as we're here into the late window. So I'll go first. I mean, the Chargers, yeah, it was only a Sunday night football game, but I almost look at it as like a quasi overtime game because that game was over and then the Steelers come rolling back after the Chargers were already putting their feet up. Oh, what a nice win. And now what do you have to do after really expending a lot of energy late in the game? You have to go on the road at altitude to play a division rival who, is coming off the bye. And for all the shortcomings of Vic Fangio, it's a small sample size again, but he's 2-0 against the spread off the bye. So when it is a small sample size, I like to go that extra step and look at the margin of victory. Now, it was only 2 games, but he exceeded the spread, or the Broncos. I guess he's not the one playing. The Broncos in those games exceeded the spread by nearly 10 points in those 2 wins. So when you have a margin of victory like that, you can give a little more credence to a small sample size. I'm never going to complain about getting points at home in a division matchup. So I'll go with the Broncos plus the 3. And shocker, Dave, I love them in a teaser. I'll save you for last in this one. CH, what do you think in Chargers, Broncos, Chargers, and Herbert, the 3-point road chalk?
I'm going to start keeping track of how many times Newbie says teaser during the in the gun segment, because last week it was a lot. It's a drinking game.
That's take a drink.
I won't make it to my take a minute if we play that.
All I bet is teasers. Like, truly, if you guys see, I'll send you a screenshot of my DraftKings, because that's really the only book that I have. Like, BetMGM doesn't allow teasers. You guys will be like, what the? How do you make any money? All I do is bet teasers, not advantage teasers, not Wong. I just tease them. Just tease them like crazy. Sorry, CA.
Anyway, I'll take the Clippers, Chargers, and I'll lay the points.
Nice and easy. Dave, what are you thinking? He has the Chargers. I have the Broncos. What say you, Mr. Tampa Bay Buck?
I swear, I have no idea what to do with this game. I was like, man, this is one I would never bet. I think just when you think you got a handle on the Chargers and you laid a short number with the Steelers, they let them back in. Oh, yeah. I'm taking a home dog. But the last time I took the Broncos was against the SBEs. When we did the show, I'm like, the SBEs aren't going to win. But by the time the game kicked, I knew the SBEs were going to win. No idea. Give me Denver plus the points. I'll hope and pray that if that's the game that I miss, so be it.
All right, which brings us to Sunday night, boys. And then we got the highly anticipated OTOSOP segment all up in your face. And we are going to that corner. Oh, yes, we are going. We got the Sunday night football game. It is the Ravens taking on the Browns. Line's been sitting right around 4. CH, I'll let you go first on this game. I feel like this game is very hard to bet without knowing is Lamar Jackson playing or not. I think he's going to play because it was just like an illness last week. Hopefully nothing too serious. But what are you thinking? Ravens 4-point favorites against their divisional rival, the Brown-a-Thorns.
Yeah, I think Lamar plays. I mean, not a lot of illnesses keep football players out for 2 games, right? Unless it's got the 19 at the end of the illness. So I think Baltimore wins this game. Plus, I think ever since the whole OBJ thing, Baker is just like lost out on the field, right? He doesn't know what's going on out there. He looks like he doesn't know what to do. And I think the Browns might be cooked for the year. So give me Baltimore.
Dave, what are you thinking in this one? Ravens, I mean, if Lamar plays, that line's short, right? You're able to get it at 4 right here. What are you thinking, Mr. Sharapan?
Ravens. I think the only hesitation is if Lamar doesn't play, right? What's the line going to do? It's not going to change much.
No, I mean, that's what I mean.
The line is what it is now, I think, because it's in anticipation of him not playing. As soon as you get the green light that he's playing, this thing's to the moon, just like all these people we want to send to the moon. Not a big fan of the game, but I'd lay it. The game that didn't make the list is the Seattle Washington game. Little sneaky pick there. Oh no, I'll save that for OTOSOP. Little tease inside the segment tease. What a pro. How am I thinking? Kelsey's calling me right now, middle can sing. She don't know we're recording the show. Every goddamn week we're recording the show. These kids won't leave me alone while I'm recording the show.
It's absurd. Well, I'll save you a little bit of time here, Dave, because I'm taking the Ravens in this one because, like I said earlier, it's the buy low spot. If Lamar plays, this is going to be closer to 6 points. I'll take the 4. I think they cover both of those numbers, to be honest with you. I think CH kind of nailed it on, would you say CH?
That's 3 unanimous picks this week. We could be climbing toward 500 if we sweep these.
Get there, baby. Let's go.
I will say, like, usually when we have the unanimous, I'm like, oh, dear God. I actually love all of our unanimous picks.
I do as well.
So time will tell, which brings us to beautiful cash considerations, listeners. It's time for one total, one side, and one prize. Ooh, that's right. These guys right here, these 2 lovely gentlemen, they hit their props. I go 3-0 back-to-back weeks. On a 6-0 run, you can get my best bet package for only $5,472 using promo code Nobody Knows Shit. I'm just
NKS.
So CH and Dave can decide who goes second, since, like I said, they both hit their prop.
He can go second. I've been ahead of him for a couple weeks now. He can go second because I know he ain't taking my game. I'm good. I got my game.
Well, I'll bat lead off after being the epigee of perfection for 2 straight weeks. My side, gentlemen, is the Vikings +3. Winner. And the main reason for me on Vikings is because, have you seen Coach Zimmer's girlfriend? I mean, oh my goodness. I'll send you the picture after the show. This dude's strutting around like a peacock. Talk about kicking your coverage. Good God, Coach Zimmer. You cover a couple games and woo. But in all seriousness, I just don't know what to make of the 49ers. What I do know is that Kyle Shanahan and the Niners, since he's been the head coach, they've been one of the worst home favorites in the NFL. How about 5-15-1 when they're laying the chalk at home. Yeah. If you even take the situational split out of it, since 2017, the Niners 14-22-1 at home. So favorite or getting points at home, still well under 500. On the other sideline, that dude who's strutting like a peacock, well, he's 64.2% against the spread as an underdog. Since he's been in the league, that's best for 5th best. Vikings +3 is my side for the total. I should probably never go with a traditional total again, just to piss you guys off. And by the way, shout out to the 52% who had my back in our poll at Cash Consid Show on Twitter, who voted that a total is still a total, regardless if it's listed under the game props or not. We're not going to get into that. But none of these micro markets, as Dave calls them, really stood out to me. So don't fall out of your chair, guys. I'm going with a traditional total this week, and I'm going under 52 in the Colts and Bucks game. Now, the reason why is because this is, to many people, the game of the week. And rarely, I feel like, do the game of the weeks kind of live up to the billing. You don't think so? The Colts surging and
who are the Patriots playing? They're playing for the #1 position in the conference. Pay attention. Listen to the show.
I'm sorry. The Patriots are not the game of the week. I apologize. As much as they are back bitches, them playing the Titans, who just lost to the Texans, is not the game.
There's 2 other games of the week, huge divisional matchups. I mean, you can't decide between the SBE shitbag Eagles coming on against the Giants or the Steelers and the Bengals. You're going to give me the game of the week is Tampa and the Colts, an interdivision, an interconference matchup.
The only other, well, I just mean from there's the Colts are on Hard Knocks right now, and Tom Brady, everybody and their grandmother is always chirping me on Twitter. So I just think
slurping. I can't.
So maybe it's a little too close to home for me, but it is worth mentioning that I guess not game of the week, but one of the highest totals of the week. Maybe that's the better way to say it. Right. And a lot of the time when you have these huge big time games, they rarely end up living up to the billing. So going back to what Dave said earlier, Tampa is scoring a shit ton, but on the road, they're not really scoring as much of a shit ton. They scored 28 against the SBEs. That was their highest road total that they were able to, rack up. And for the Colts, I think everybody's talking about this being a shootout. And again, the Bucs are on a short week this week. The thing you're going to see all week long is that the Colts are 7-4 to the over, which is true. They're going to tell you it's the best in the league, which is true. But if you look at that number a little bit more, only 3 of those 7 over games came at home. And with Taylor rolling, I think, like Dave said earlier, they're going to be looking to lean on that run, keep Brady off the field, while Tampa is going to aim to stop the run, just like they did. They completely took Saquon out of the game. I don't think they'll be able to do that against Taylor, but it's going to be a little strength-on-strength matchup there. All that is a long-winded way of saying under 52 points, Colts Buccaneers is the total. I went back to traditional for you, and not traditional at all. Since I went 3-0 back-to-back weeks, I think I've earned the right to go completely off the reservation. I vomit as I say this pick. I looked at DraftKings. I looked at team scoring specials, and under the highest scoring team on Thanksgiving, I'm going to take my money and I'm going to burn it. I'm going to go Detroit Lions, highest scoring team on Thanksgiving, plus 1,100. They're going to pull out all the stops. There's going to be fat guy touchdowns, running backs throwing passes. Maybe Campbell will come in the game and throw tissues down the field while he weeps openly. The thing is, for the Bears, they just want their coach to be fired, and they're going to try and get him fired, like I said, by getting rolled. You look at the Bills, they have to scheme against Peyton. You look at Dallas, they're in a little bit of a slump. It's a horrible pick. Nobody's going to ride on it with me, but I'm doing it. I'm putting $5 at least on it. Lions plus 1,100. Highest scoring team is my prop. My total under 52 points, and my side Vikings plus 3. Those are my OT, my OS, and my OP. What say you, CH?
That was some high energy shit. They got caffeine in that Fly Eagles Fly beer you got there. Holy cow.
I live it. I eat it. I sleep it. I breathe it.
Man. So thinking I might go third, I had to write down 3 sides here just in case you fuckers took my pick.
That's 2.
One of them, I think, is Dave's game. So I'm going to stay away from it and see what happens.
Really?
Just for the record, I had to go third last week and I wrote down 3 games. All 3 of the games I wrote down were losers. So it doesn't matter what the fuck I do. I think what I'm going to go with my side here is I'm going to go with the Bills laying the points. I think the Bills are going to New Orleans isn't good. How much money did Taysom Hill get? What position does he even play? They haven't even figured out what position he plays yet. He got $40 million guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
I'm taking the Bills minus the points. My total, I mentioned this at the end of last season, where in 2018 and 2019, games between teams that were eliminated were 7-1 to the over. Okay. Now I know we're only in week 12 here, but let's be honest. The Jets and the Texans have been eliminated.
Yes.
Right?
Fair. Good call.
And by the way, that one game that didn't go over was a Green Bay game when Aaron Rodgers got hurt and they got shut out. So then last year, in the last 2 weeks of the season, games between teams that were eliminated, 4-0 to the over. So in the last 3 years, we're talking about 11-1 to the over. And that one exception is the Aaron Rodgers injured game. So I am going to go with the Jets in Houston over 44.5, way over 44.5.
I love that.
My prop. I have 4 of them written down here because there's some good props out there for me this week. I've been going kind of to the weekly specials. I'm going with Terry Mclaren, a name I can never pronounce, and DK Metcalf combined over 139.5 receiving yards. It's only a plus 100. I had a couple others here. I got a plus 150, a plus 110, but this one I like the best. McLaren and DK Metcalf combined over 139.5 at plus 100. So I got the Bills minus 4.5, the JETS and the TEXANSs over 44.5, and McLaren and DK over 139.5 receiving yards at plus 100. That's my toss up.
How about that? It's nice and concise, unlike my rambling excitement. You get me going on Carson Wentz, it's gonna happen. It's natural. Dave, OTOSOP. Where you going, my man?
All right. So a lot of sides to look at. I'm going to go all the way to Monday night. I'm taking the Washington football team against the Seattle Seahawks. Talk about teams that look done. That team looked done to me. And it's an ugly game. Who in the hell is going to want to watch it? But we need some life on the show. We need some extended version. People keep going back and listen to the show on Sunday and Monday. We thank you for that. That is my side. There's a lot to pick from. Going there because it's kind of off the reservation a little bit away from all the mainstream games, including the most popular game of the week, Tampa and the Colts. Actually, Newbie, I just did a quick scan. For the Sunday games, you may be right. That is maybe the premier game, although the Rams and Green Bay, pretty good. Minnesota, San Francisco, pretty good. But in the early window, Tennessee, New England is still the number 1 game of the week, just for the record. The total has me a little bit perplexed. I want to pick a Thanksgiving total, Chicago, Detroit under. But again, we're trying to extend the life of the show. So you go in and listen to the show and you go, oh, Dave picked that. The final score 17-13. Detroit wins. You're going to be like, oh, well, I can't play it because I listened to the show on Thursday or Friday. So we go to it. Another total. It is, man, I'm just really torn here between. I'm going to go with it. We're going to stick with it. We're going to go with a Seattle, Washington under 47. Sticking with the same game thing that worked once for me before. Seattle, Washington, kind of shitty offenses both. The Seattle don't get more. Their team total prop is 23.5. Bet that thing under. That's a micro market. That's not a total. So I would say that I would use that, but I'm not going to use that because I don't want to cheat the rules or go tout like my boy Newbie up there in the corner. So we're going to go total for the game, 47. Don't you dare fucking mute me. I'll fucking knock you out. So that's the total. The prop, we're going to go a little 2-team parlay prop. We'll try something different on Thanksgiving. This is a Thanksgiving prop because you guys know me. I go deep on the research. I keep scrolling. I can't find nothing. They got all the Thanksgiving stuff up. I wanted to do something for Sunday, and they got all the just micro markets that aren't really props. I don't want to get accused of skirting the rules. So Dak Prescott over 276.5 yards passing, minus 115. And Dak Prescott over 1.5 passing touchdowns is minus 220. You can bet them separately, or you can combine them into a parlay if that is allowed. They both happening. The Cowboys are going to roll the Raiders. Little Consigliere and I will probably be sitting on that couch that you saw us on the Twitter feed. I'm going to look over at her, and at some point she's probably going to say, the Raiders suck. That's the parlay. So those my OT, OS, OP, Redskins. Did I say Redskins? Washington football team minus the point. That game under the total 47. Dak, touchdown passes and yardage over.
Boom. So in the sake of time, for all the people who, you guys take too long, you're still listening at this point. So
come on.
Can't be all that long. So in the sake of time, how about this, gentlemen? Oh.
That's right, Cash Considerations listeners. Like Stange said, it's been a while. And when it's been a while, there's one thing to do, and it's welcoming your host to Carl's Corner. Take it away, Mr. Hascall.
I missed that. I forgot all about how much I enjoyed that.
And it sounded good.
Oh man! And I'm over here for you guys watching on the YouTube, and I'm doing the whole Hulk Hogan thing, and I do the left hand. I did the right hand, and it's the first time in a year I felt that twinge in my shoulder. So I don't know if I should do
move
that.
Right arm.
I don't know if I should do that again. Man, last time we went to Carl's Corner, what did we talk about? We talked about Halloween candy and about how Dave and I love the old, we're the old school guys. We love the Snickers bars, right? And Newbie came up with some Take 5 or Take 10, whatever the fuck that thing was. By the way, I had one. Maybe it's a top 10 candy bar. Maybe it should be called the Take. Yeah. But of course, it's Thanksgiving, and we're an over show. We're a food show, right? Yep. And what better food day of the year is there than on Thursday of this week? Personally, it's my favorite holiday. It's my favorite meal of the year. The turkey dinner with all the stuff. My God, it's my favorite meal, except for last year when everybody was locked down and I had to make the whole meal myself. It was not my favorite last year. But we're going to go to Thanksgiving dinner, and dessert, I believe here. So first of all, I want to know from you guys, we said top 3, but maybe we don't have to put a number on it. What is your favorite part of the Thanksgiving dinner? Maybe it's the dinner, maybe it's the sides, whatever. Newbie, as the resident food expert, I'll go to you first. What is your favorite part of the Thanksgiving dinner, or your top 3, or whatever you got here?
People lean back, just settle in right now, because Newbie is the foodie. And just take notes, get the Twitter handle things ready. All messages start with @Newbie Talks. That's at NEUBYTALKS. Thanksgiving food takes start. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I mean, the answer is yes. I love it all. Like just load me up. I truly, some people like Christmas. Some people for me, it's Thanksgiving because it's football, it's alcohol, and it's eating, and it's getting to be with your family. Like truly, Thanksgiving is my coup de grace. Like I absolutely love Thanksgiving. So I'm glad you throw it my way here. I mean, honestly, my favorite part is the turkey because my mom is just incredible cook, bastes it. They're getting it all ready like 3 days in advance. I'm pretty sure it's already basting currently. We're doing like a cran apple kind of brine for it to get the turkey ready. That's part of all of it. You got to get the right brine down so that it's nice, it's juicy, it doesn't get dried out, and then you don't have to use that fucking gravy. You guys can talk on gravy at length. It's personally not for me. I don't need it. I refer to it more as meat juice because that's essentially what it is. It's juice of meat. It is now mixed in. If you have someone who is a stellar cook, you don't need any of it. It's really to hide the dry cooking of many. Unless somebody makes an amazing gravy, I just haven't had it yet. So I'm not knocking anybody else's gravy. It's your fucking plate. Do whatever you want with it. I don't judge. But for me, CH, Turkey, I feel like you got to just take it off the board because, it's turkey, but stuffing for me. And I don't know if you guys do the stuffing that you actually put in the bird, but if you do, it just ends up with this amazing, just like moist, kind of like umami texture to it that just it has a little bit more of a bite, the inside of the bread. I actually was just helping my mom cut all of it. We cube our own bread. We throw it all in with the seasonings and all the fixins. So stuffing is my absolute number one. And it might be a little boring to say mashed potatoes, but my sister makes these garlic whipped mashed potatoes that are just to die for. She puts like a little bit of basil in there, a little bit of garlic. So it's almost like this quasi Italian, just absolutely delicious, ultra creamy, more butter than your body should ever probably fucking have in it in life. Love the garlic whipped mashed potatoes. And then this one might be on the reservation, and I'll throw it back your way, CH. I am a big fan, and I don't put a lot of it. I don't smother everything in it. The cranberry relish. And I know some people like the cranberry in the can. I don't know if you guys have ever had the cranberry relish. My mom like mixes it all up in a food processor and everything. So it's got this real nice, not quite grainy texture, but it has at least some texture to it. It's just not slop. It's just not goop. And you put a little bit of that on the corner of the plate. And when you put everything together, you get one little big bite, and then you just slide a little bit of the cranberry relish in there. It's got like a nice citrus flavor to it, nice cranberry flavor, and then it just brightens everything up. So everything just like absolutely shines. It's like, ooh, like a beautiful symphony in your mouth. So for me, it's the stuffing, garlic whipped mashed potatoes, put the turkey on top of that bad boy, and then just a little bit of that cranberry relish, the perfect bite. That's my Thanksgiving season.
Dave, I don't know how you follow that. So as the host of Carl's Quarter, I'm going to defer to you and let you go next.
Oh my God. I'm hungry. I don't know about you, but I'm like sitting there going, God damn, I ain't never had no cranberry relish, but I think I want to try it after that. Believe it or not, if I had to pick between turkey and ham, I would pick ham. I like turkey, but I'm telling you right now, I love ham. That's just do. Yeah, it is. So come at me at Sportsbook Consigliere. I like them both. Don't get me wrong, and I will eat them both. But if you can only pick one, it's ham. As far as the sides, pretty simple for me. Stuffing. More stuffing. Eat the stuffing. Keep pounding the stuffing on. And stuffing stuffs you up, but it's delicious. I can't get enough of it. I like the stuff. Me and B. Hal talk about the stuff factor on 8 in the box. Give me more stuffing. 2, sweet potato anything. But sweet potatoes are amazing. And you got to say potato instead of potato when you say sweet potato, because that's the way I've always heard it said. And when you eat them, that's the way you feel. So sweet potatoes, number 2. That green bean casserole shit out. It keeps showing up every year. I keep putting it in the fridge for the leftovers, and I keep throwing it away every goddamn weekend of Thanksgiving. Keep bringing it. I appreciate you bringing it. I don't eat it. Nobody eats it. The cranberry stuff is it got to be good. Bad cranberry stuff is terrible. Like, you can't have that. So, the third, is it like something corn? Anything kind of corn, I don't know, some kind of corn dish. I don't eat it that much. Kids seem to love it. Maybe some corn. I like it. 2 things. 2 is easy for me: stuffing and sweet potatoes. I like to keep it simple. Give me some salad, that's fine. And so maybe they bring that, like I said, the corn and all the other vegetables they try to weave in there. I'm good with those 2. Give me some cranberry relish, though. I think I'm going to try as my third item on my 3-game parlay. I think I'm going to try this cranberry stuff and put it on some good stuff. That sounds pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah.
We can have the whole ham and turkey discussion, I think, at another time.
You sat back, because I'm a turkey guy through and through too.
Oh,
You're
my God.
turkey guy, right?
Oh man, when I'm on death row and they're bringing me down and the priest is there and they're bringing me my last meal, it's Thanksgiving dinner, and the Thanksgiving dinner's got a turkey in it.
Turkey.
Oh, hell yeah.
Anyway, so you guys touched on a lot, but I'll just kind of recap. For me personally, the turkey is the star of the show, right? However, my mom does make the world's best gravy. It's all of
Ooh.
you call it meat juice or whatever you want to call it. You take all that, you start adding some spices in there and mixing it all up nice and slow and bring it up to a boil and let it reduce a little bit. That turkey and gravy is just absolutely the best. And for me, turkey and gravy is only complete with the stuffing and a little bit of cranberry sauce on the bite. 4 items, 1 bite. Turkey,
Amazing.
Gravy, stuffing, cranberry sauce. For me, cranberry sauce comes out of a can and it goes when it comes out of the can. It makes that sucking noise. You know why? It's been the same since like 1722. Exactly. Ever since Ocean Spray was incorporated back in the 1600s, that cranberry sauce hasn't changed. Quite honestly, they probably manufactured all that cranberry sauce way back then. It's just been sitting in cans. But that 1 bite, turkey, gravy, stuffing, cranberry sauce does it for me. And honestly, one year, my mom was doing the stuffing and she was doing everything. And she couldn't remember if she put the spices in the stuffing. So she put them all in again. So everything got double spiced. I've been asking her to do it for like 20 years because it was amazing. Nobody else liked it. It was so spicy. It was fantastic. I got all the leftovers that way. So that's my take. We're going to swing it through now. We got time. We're going to swing it through desserts. Real quick. For me, I'll go first. Dessert on Thanksgiving is 2 things. My Aunt Patty's pecan pie, my Aunt Patty's apple pie. I miss those things more than anything else in the world. She hasn't been able to make the apple pie for a few years because it's kind of tough cutting it all up and getting all that stuff. Apple pie after Thanksgiving dinner, and then apple pie for breakfast on Friday morning is the parlay that cannot be beat at all. That slice of apple pie with a cup of coffee on Friday morning, unbelievable for breakfast. I had that for years. Having that with a store-bought or a non-patties made apple pie is just not the same. We'll swing it back in reverse order. I went last. I went first. Let's have Dave. What do you got for desserts?
So I was introduced to sweet potato pie later in life. When I was down in Curacao, tried it. I can't believe it. And I was like, this is amazing. Why have I never had this before? And then it kind of became a staple. When I moved to Vegas, somebody always brought it in because I worked in the book and that was always somebody's thing. And that was like amazing. So sweet potato pie is an underdog that cannot be beat because, I mean, apple pie is a staple, makes perfect sense. Somebody tweeted at me, cherry pie can be put in there. Key lime pie is good, but not on Thanksgiving. It's just not, it's after steak dinner, like Junkyard said, or some other people said. Key lime pie is its own thing. Doesn't belong on this table. Obviously, Mrs. Consig, Jessica, my wife, Debbie, grandma, they make pumpkin pies. They start making pumpkin pies. I don't know who eats them all, but they make like a dozen pumpkin pies. And pumpkin pie is good. We're a pumpkin pie family. So the kids eat it. Everybody eats it. I prefer the sweet potato pie myself. For those of you that involve the cakes, like the carrot cake and all other stuff, it doesn't read the house rules. We said it was a pie, not a cake. So you bring cake to the pie, we're going to tell you you're at the wrong window. You got to go. Lastly, is it pecan? It's definitely not pecan because we said pecan up in the north, up growing up, it was pecan. And so for all the people listening to the show, J-Ho and everyone else, Bama Mafia, everybody says it's pecan pie. I don't like pecan pie. You can have it if you want it. It's the one I've been throwing away all along. At the end, the next day, the morning after for breakfast, CH has started a new tradition. Yeah. I can't wait to wake up, turn on an early football game, and have a slice of pie. I'm going to do that on Friday morning for you, CH. I like what you think.
Here we go. Changing the masses. Pie for breakfast. There we go. Newbie, I'm sure.
Breakfast, baby.
That's right, Newbie. I'm sure you've had pie for breakfast before.
I'm sure.
Dude,
Tell us, what do you got for desserts?
I've had fucking ice cream for breakfast, guys. Like there is no limit to when I was a fat dude. The shit that I would eat would make you just sick to even know me, to be honest. But you'd be like, what? You ate what for how? What is wrong with you? I'll be completely honest, guys, and at risk of being completely trolled, if there was a whole entire dessert table and it was anything on that table, the last thing I would pick is any form of pie. I actually think, and I know, CH, because my dad says the exact same thing. He would take pie over anything, any kind of pie. Don't matter. But for me, the only pie that I like is the pizza pie, man. To be honest with you, I mean, I'll eat it. I'll be fine with it. But I would never seek out a pie. I would actually actively go away from pie. I just, just like fruit and shit like that. Like
banana cream pie is amazing. You never had it?
That's too creamy for me. See, I'm a consistency guy, and that's just all.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like
apple
I do
pie.
like
It's America. Apple pie.
My favorite part of pie is the part that nobody else really cares about. The crust is the favorite part of the pie for me. Like if I get like let's say like a Oreo pie with like or what's the kind that I've had, like a peanut butter pie with like a salted caramel like like pretzel kind of crust.
Yes,
I'm all about it. But if you're just talking about like your usual, Pillsbury, throw a little
Marie Callender's, like you don't like Marie Callender's pies?
No. Peach cobbler, Marie Callender's peach cobbler is off the hook.
You get that peach cobbler with like that cinnamon strudel on the top, or streusel, however you say it. The cinnamon streusel, like then got me. You know what I mean? But I need a crunch. I need consistency. So for me, guys, I'll keep it nice and simple for you. Have you ever had pumpkin roll? I don't know if this is like a regional thing. Have either of you ever even heard of pumpkin?
Grandma makes that shit here.
Yeah.
Pumpkin roll's amazing.
Have you ever had pumpkin roll?
Oh, it's good.
All right.
No pumpkin roll.
So essentially what it is, and if it's homemade, oh my God, like the Amish make the best fucking pumpkin roll ever.
Pretty good.
The cows that they're milking. I was about to say the horses that they're milking. That's definitely not the one.
That's a different show.
Yeah,
it's a definitely different show.
Exactly.
The monkey just got a horse milking. What are you talking about?
Apparently, no jizz in the desserts. The pumpkin roll is absolutely freaking delicious, guys. So essentially, what it is, it's like it's got to be homemade. It's like this spongy, like pumpkin spice cake, and it's cooked flat, but it's malleable enough that you're able to roll it up, and then you put cream cheese, like a homemade, like nice thick cream cheese spread on the top of it, and then they roll this motherfucker like a blunt, and they just like push it all together, and it's just like this thick deliciousness that you can see like the rings of the tree, and then they'll put like confectioner's sugar on the top of it.
Ridiculous.
Oh my God. Like I'm gonna have to like find a way to have CH come for Thanksgiving solely so you can have the pumpkin roll, because it will change your life. For me, that is dessert for me. And my girlfriend's mom makes the best pumpkin roll I have ever had in my life. She's bringing it this year, and I'm pumped for it. The pumpkin roll, CH. Amazing conversation now that we're back in the corner, though, man. I'm starving.
Yeah, we can't have these food conversations at dinner time. It's 6:45 out here when we're recording, and I can tell you, I'm starving right now.
But that means it's Carl's Corner coming to an end. We're all frickin' hungry. Can't wait for Thursday to you and yours. And for our host, Carl Hascall, this has been Carl's Corner. Back to you, David.
It sounds different because we haven't heard it for a while, but it looks different because of the mustache. And as he's doing it, like literally sound exactly like a 1978 game show host.
I look like one of those guys from fucking vaudeville. Yeah, here we go.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey.
That's it right there. That's it. Indigo. I mean, you look just like the dude. I mean, it's getting crazy. We got to get you one of them hats from Princess Bride. All right, that's the show. One segment left. It's the part of the show. Literally had someone at Mrs. Consig's work tell her, I love the podcast that your husband does, but I fast forward to the Take a Minute segment every week because she doesn't bet and she doesn't watch the games. She gets mad when we pick against the 49ers, but when she does listen to the show, she fast forward to the end first to listen to the Take a Minute segment to then go back to see how much of it she wants to listen to.
Stick around for Carl's Corner for sure.
Yeah. Right. So however you listen to the show, thank you again for listening to the show. It's available wherever you find podcasts. It's also available in video form on the YouTube channel, Cash Considerations. Leave a comment. We try to interact there as well. We're interacting on the social media as well. So a lot of things happening, a lot of good things happening. We really appreciate you guys listening to the show. Take a minute. We're going to start with CH first. Carl Hascall, again, the social media manager, the coordinating producer, the email guy. Email the show at cashconsidshow@gmail.com. And obviously the co-host of the show, along with me and Newbie. Carl, your Thanksgiving Take a Minute segment starts in 3, 2, 1.
All right. So I just got the notification here that we have a little bit of time. So I'm going to take some of that time. A couple of things I want to talk about here. First of all, last week, you'll recall that I kind of bared my soul about a few things, talked about some of my history, looking for some donations for Newbie. You know what? How much that resulted in? 0 donations. 99% of you are men with these issues. Go back, listen to how to get to Newbie's page and donate to the guy. Would you please? He's only got 6 more days of that mustache. But my real take a minute is going to be this. You guys aren't going to realize this, but this is a very special show for me. This is the 129th edition of the Cash Consideration Show, but it is my 50th show as a co-host. 50. Who knew? Who knew that day that Dave texted me and said, hey, Mo can't do the show. Can you pinch hit? That you wouldn't be able to drag me out of here. So my 50th show, I've got some people I want to say thank you to as a result. First of all, Natasha's been there all along. Natasha, thank you for keeping the show running. You've been such a great help, you know, at all of these shows, especially since Newbie joined, keeping the train rolling. So thank you, Natasha. Royce Dickerson, our very first guest, or my very first guest, the very first show we had, doing his stuff with all the EA and the Madden stuff. Thanks, Royce. Let's go to show number 7 when we had Matthew Barnaby on. Matthew told some stories that led us to start having the explicit rating on our show. Go back and listen to that. But what you probably don't know, because not a lot of people watch the video, is Dave lost his Wi-Fi for about 5 to 7 minutes on that show, and I had to carry the interview. I never panicked so much as I did in that 5 to 7 minutes. Our former producer's looking at me like, what the fuck are we going to do? And I'm like, all right, well, let's just ask a couple of questions. I hope it goes. Couple of our big guests that we had on, thanks to Tone Diggs and our guy Gumpy, who threw 153 F-bombs on episode number 20, my 24th show, to be followed the following week by the killer crossover with Kevin Walsh. Man, that was my favorite show, I think, other than our Super Bowl show. Man, Kevin had us laughing. To the Boston guys that have been on the show, Todd Dewey and JD, Jeff Dawson, new Boston guy, Ben Porter, living up here in Massachusetts. And of course, a couple of weeks ago, we had our guy, Jimmy Dunn on. Thanks to those guys. And then we also had, you know, a guy that was on back-to-back shows, the only guest we ever had that I can remember that was on back-to-back shows. Then he joined us permanently a couple of weeks later. I mean, geez, you do 2 shows in a row. Suddenly you're a co-host. Newbie did my 4th and 5th show, and he's been here ever since show 11 for me, and it's been a blast having this guy on. My favorite show, other than the K-Dub show and the Super Bowl show, was the one show number 30, in my hotel room with the boys all together, and the Consig girls there as well. That was my favorite show, quite honestly. I also want to say thank you to all of the listeners that reach out and we interact with. Bama has been, I think I talk to Bama sometimes when I'm doing my real job and something comes up with some guy from down south, and I think, what would Bama say to that? Our guy Sean in Baltimore, who emails every time we're looking for questions. Our guy Sean down in Baltimore has a list of questions for us. And then Carl's Corner. I mean, how many people have a corner? Copyright Cash Considerations 2021 have their own corner where we can talk about the sports toys we had growing up, where we can talk about what we do with the Stanley Cup, and of course, the biggest one, ketchup on a hot dog. What kind of legs did we get out of ketchup going on a hot dog? That was amazing. I didn't think it was going to happen, but Bama, here it is. The torch is officially being passed. You'll notice that I haven't mentioned the name of the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for almost 2 months now. Other people on the show have done it. Dave's done it. Newbie's done it. We've had guests do it. Even Linda was on for 20 minutes last week. She mentioned his name, not me. Today, when we talked about the Patriots game, I talked about Mikey McCorkle. Mikey McCorkle-Jones is the quarterback. He's the new trend. This is show number 1 for mentioning Mikey McCorkle on my 50th show. And of course, lastly, Mr. Sharapan, the real Vegas Dave. Thank you very much for all this. This has been a blast. I can't wait for the next 50 shows and the next 500 shows over that. Let's go. That's my minute and a half or 2 minutes.
Outstanding. Outstanding. I mean, just great stuff. Mac Jones era has begun. 5-0 is a big number. And again, who would have thought it, right? Like just literally a quick text, thanks to your comment. And now, just like Sonny said in a Bronx Tale, now you can't leave. I mean, you ain't going nowhere. You're here. We're back, bitches. We're staying, and we're going to keep going. So thank you to you. That's Carl Hascall at Carl Hascall on the Twitter and again on the YouTube, all of that stuff. Thank you, sir. Yes.
And just because I forgot to mention it, yes, I do have a spreadsheet that keeps track of all of this shit.
Of course he does. He's a spreadsheet guy too. You got all the shit. So best to you, CH, right there. Best. Now, Dan Alexander. We call him the Newbie Talks because that's what he goes by on the Twitter. He is the executive producer of the show, as well as the only guy that can work the damn board and do the drops and all the other things. The keeper of the mustache and the co-host of the show. Your Take a Minute segment, sir, starts in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I went on a huge rant last week. So to not think that I'm completely full of hate, it is Thanksgiving. And Thanksgiving is always, like I said, like my absolute favorite holiday. Huge reason is because of my grandfather, my grandpa George. I talked about him a couple taking minutes back. You know, he had a battle with prostate cancer, incredible guy. And my love of food is directly a result of him. You guys might not believe this, but I was the pickiest eater ever growing up. I didn't eat anything. And I feel like that's why I make up for lost time eating literally fucking everything now. But I was such a picky eater, and my grandpa was such an incredible person. He used to go to McDonald's before it closed so that he could get me a Happy Meal that I could eat at Thanksgiving while everybody else was eating the food, because I was that picky. Like all I would eat is rolls. So anytime that Thanksgiving rolls around, I always think about my pops, my grandfather. And the thing is it's kind of strange that, you know, Thanksgiving was his favorite. It's my favorite now, because when he was going through his whole battle with cancer, one of his biggest things that helped him, he basically got a death sentence. They said, dude, you're not going to make it. So after he got that death sentence, he lived for an extra 10 years. And he credited that to time that he spent out in Arizona and traveling across the country and meeting with indigenous people. So whenever it's around Thanksgiving, this always pops into my mind about the stories that he would tell me about what an incredible and pride nations that those were. So it's always a chance for me to just think about the indigenous people who laid the groundwork for us here in America. And it also makes me kind of, you know, recognize the privileges that I have to have the best job in the world. I get to hang out with guys like this. I get to produce shows talking about betting. And that's a 100% privilege that I am just so happy to have. And I'm also thankful for the health that I have. You know, for maybe some bangs and bruises here and there, I'm an all-around healthy guy. I'm thankful for the family that I have. I've had struggles in my life, and due to that incredible family, I was able to get through them because of their support. I'm thankful for these two guys right here who, you know, we didn't know each other from a fucking hole in the wall, and now we're brothers because of what we do here on a weekly basis. And it's not an act. It is all true. What you hear, what you see, unfiltered, unfettered. And truly to the listeners too, the interaction that we get. I joke all the time about getting trolled. The fact that we even have a listener base that will troll us is a privilege in and of itself. And it's an incredible thing that we're all able to share. We're all riding on this big fucking rock together, and not to get all philosophical on you, but you know, these are all shared experiences. And at the end of your life, all you're going to have is these kind of shared experiences. So I'm so thankful for times like these, for shows like these, and just that I'm so blessed and so privileged to be in these positions. Happy Thanksgiving. I love each and every one of you, even you Tom Brady Crusaders. That, Dave, is my take a minute.
Outstanding work. it's still going to be a thing. We're still going to say his name, but
Forever.
yeah, we're going to say his name,
Yeah,
at least until he
forever.
retires, which means forever
probably
because
still
he ain't
saying
fucking retiring. I mean, it's pretty clear, but we're going to have to get a new sound or something for the Mac era. You know, I like the Mac the Knife. If we can play it short enough where we just hear Mac the Knife real quick. Yeah. We just don't want no copyright, no
Correct.
people coming after us, no lawyers. All right. My Take a Minute segment starts right now. Pretty easy. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Always has been. It was always a time where we had people at our house. I didn't know what it was like to go anywhere else for Thanksgiving. Everybody came to our house. We went and played a turkey bowl. I told that story about my turkey bowl experience, my last one, when I played against a bunch of like bricklayers and stuff, and we got in a fight almost, and all kind of things happened. It was great. But then we always came home. And for a long time, Thanksgiving was about going home. Wherever you were, you got to come home. And the meal was the same. Cranberry sauce, like CH said, it's the same. Like everything was that comfort, like that the food is the comfort, but it was about being home. And for the first time in my life, I have a home of my own. Like we actually bought a house. You guys have heard me refer to it as the Hamptons because I want to say the kids can live in the Hamptons and it's fun and it's this and it's that. I go outside and stare at this thing every single day. I stand in the driveway or I stand in the street and go, I got a house. I can't believe it. So blessed, so grateful, so thankful. What this holiday all means is about just being home with your friends like these two. I love you two. I love a lot of the people that listen to the show every single week. People like Sean and the Wizards who are helping us grow this show. I started a new show with Matt Perrault. I'm going to do it on props.com. Like this stuff is expanding. I am so lucky and grateful. I had a stroke 13 months ago. Could have died 8 hours from dead. Instead, I'm here talking about everything that I've ever done in my life. So thankful. Little Consig Kendall is my absolute angel and a reminder of what we should be thinking about every day because she's 7 and doesn't think about anything except the right things. She put up a tree on the way in and out of the door. And she said, Daddy, here's leaves. You got to write on the leaves what you're thankful for and put them up on the tree. What a genius idea. Little Consig 7 teaching her dad who thinks he knows shit. Nobody knows shit. Nobody knows nothing. We got to listen to the kids. We got to listen to each other and enjoy Thanksgiving for what it is. It's food, it's friends, and it's family. And today, that's what this show is about. But in general, every week, that's what this show is about. Is it not, boys? Cash Considerations, the show where nobody knows shit, but you got to listen to the show because it is about those three very important things. Thank you both. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the show. He's Dan Newbert /Alexander @Newbie Talks. He's Carl Hascall @Carl Hascall. I am Dave Sharapan @SportsBK Consig. Hug your family, hug your friends, enjoy a good meal, and we'll talk to you guys next week.